Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have a very unexpected video. Something surprising that I have honestly never seen before, and this may be the result of cheap parts. And let me show you what happened with this car. So the reason I'm checking it out is because I heard a very loud clunking today when I was driving, and right now it looks somewhat normal right there, but watch this. I'm gonna grab the wheel, push it down. You see that? Yeah, that's not normal. So I'm pretty sure I just broke my coilovers. Not sure how. I must have gone over like a really bad bump, and I think it broke that side. But it's honestly been making that sound for a long time, so I'm not sure if it was already broken like a long time ago. But now it's completely trashed, so I'm not really gonna figure out what to do, because I have the stock suspension I think somewhere in the back that I could just put on in the front, but the car is gonna look extremely weird with the stock suspension, so I really don't know what to do. I could try to buy some aftermarket coilovers that somebody is selling online for like a 350Z, or I could put the stock suspension on because this looks pretty bad. I honestly don't know if this is even fixable. I'm gonna have to try to take it off, see what I can do, but that's just insane if I'm being honest with you. You can see the rod in the middle is not even sitting straight, and you can see a piece of that right there sticking out. So I have no idea how that happened, but it happened. So let's go ahead and take the wheel off, see what we can do. Oh, look at this. That is fucking crazy, dog. Look at that. Alright, let's go ahead and try to remove this stuff. It should be pretty easy, just taking this off the 14, and then I already loosened that, my 217s and my impact gun, so it should be pretty easy from here on. So it sucks. We'll see what we can do. And I wanted to install air suspension on this car, but we'll see. Alright, let's take this stuff off. So there it is, now removed, and this is how it pretty much came out. The spring came out, and then this right here, the top hat came out as well. This is supposed to sit right here, and it should have come out like that, but you can see that this middle portion technically like came out all on its own. So I don't know if I can purchase a top hat just to replace that right there, but also this right here is really tight on there, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to remove that anymore. So honestly, it would be just better to buy some new coilovers for this car, or upgrade to air suspension or something, because from my understanding you can remove like this whole section, turn this into a bag, but the top hat is broken and you need that in order to make this work. That fucking sucks. But it's crazy how much that thing was moving around. Like it completely just popped off right there. The bottom section was just like moving around just like that. And I got my little companion right here. Alright, so yeah, we'll see what we're gonna do. This is crazy. I'll see if I can scoop up some coilovers from a homie or something, but this is a bummer. But it makes sense why I was making noise and I kept hearing that dumping sound. At first I thought it was gonna be like one of my motor mounts or something, because of course I replaced the engine, so I thought maybe it got loose or it broke, but it was this. But it's been making that sound honestly since I installed these, so replacing this hopefully will make the car feel a little bit better when driving. Alrighty guys, so quick update. We got some teen coilovers for the M45, as you can see that right there. Got a pretty good deal on them. I think those retail for like 700, maybe 600, somewhere around that range. If I did have to buy a new set, I was honestly gonna go with like BC or something, but those should do for now. So let's go ahead and pick it back up once we get home. Alright guys, so I already started working on it, and I have some good news and also bad news. The bad news is for the teen coilovers, I was having issues adjusting it. I don't think you can actually adjust these type of coilovers. You can adjust the preload. I don't think you can actually adjust the ride height unless you're supposed to make it stiffer in order for it to stay at a certain point that it's at. And and then loosen it to get lower. I just removed the top hat, put it on here. Now the other issue that I ran into is the top portion of the spring is actually wider to fit the top hat of the stock strut. So the aftermarket one that comes with Raceland is skinnier, both on the bottom and the top. Luckily for me, the bottom was skinnier and the top one was skinny, so I had to remove it. And this one fits perfectly on here, so I just technically moved the spring over and this as well. We'll see if these springs are actually better and ride better as well. One thing that I am noticing off the bat though, these springs right here are a little bit shorter, so that's going to change how high this thing actually sits. And it's just by a little bit, as you can see. Well, actually, no, yeah, it is. Yeah, there you go. It is a little bit higher, so we may have to adjust the preload again on this. I'm gonna have to take this off right here, loosen it, adjust it again to get it back to the proper preload where it's supposed to be at, so everything can fit nicely. I should actually loosen the bottom collars, but I'll do that once I put it in the car to make it a little bit easier. But yeah, that's what we ran into. Luckily I was able to get that fixed. I'm not sure if this would actually work with these stock struts. I'm assuming the stock struts are big on the bottom and the top as well, so that wouldn't work if you wanted to move the top hat over. You would actually need the specific spring in order to make something like that work. So I guess we got lucky, but let's go ahead and throw this back on. We're gonna have to do a bunch of adjustments to make this work. I was planning on just throwing everything in there, but obviously the plans changed. Alright guys, so we're officially done. Both sides are on. This is the driver's side. I did notice that there was a huge difference when it came to the preload from the other coilover to this one after switching out the top hats. So I'm pretty sure that the other one was already messed up like a long time ago. Moved it down, and over time it just started pulling on it, and I just went over like a really big bump, and I think that's what made it come off completely and break the top hat. And let me show you guys what it should look like. So here's the one on the driver's side that wasn't broken. You can see it looks really good. And what happened is it pulled like the bushing out technically from the top hat, and then the other one is over here. See, it's completely gone. And I'm thinking what happened is over time it just pulled it down, and that's why the preload was messed up. So it was reading lower on one side when it shouldn't have, and you know, it just ended up breaking after that big bump. So it's unfortunate. It looks like these top hats probably suck. So hopefully with these, I'm really hoping that it rides a whole lot better, because if you think about it, this one right here like doesn't have a lot of I guess softness or like a bushing to it that's gonna really make it soft. And the ones that we just installed has a bushing at the bottom, and then it has a little bit more of a bushing up here on the top as well. So we're gonna drive it, see how it feels, and make sure that the stance is correct. I did put it at about 3.5 inches, so that's where I have it right now. On these cars, they can't go too low, specifically the VK45 because of the engine. The oil pan sits way too low. But yeah, I'm out of breath. But we got this done. Took me less than an hour. We just gotta throw the other wheel on, the strut bar, and then we're good to go. So let's go ahead and put that back on and go for a little test drive. Alrighty guys, so now we're in the M45, and so far the ride quality is a whole lot better. Like, I can't really explain it like enough of how much it changed. Before, I constantly had really bad clunking on the right side, especially on bumpy roads. For example, we're on one right now that's somewhat bumpy, and you would hear that clunking sound coming from that side constantly, like clunk, 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 clunk. And now there's no more clunking, and it's crazy to say that that was my issue, and now it's been resolved just by replacing the top hat. What you guys could do if this happens to you as well is you could easily just replace the top hat on it, which I could have done myself, but I needed something like right away to be able to fix this. And nobody in my area really sells, you know, just the top hats for, you know, those type of coilovers. So I just honestly just had to move everything over to make it work, and luckily I was able to. And I think that the springs itself actually made a huge difference as well. The springs, when I was tightening it up, it actually moved a little bit, so I could tell that it has a little bit more of like that stock feeling, where it's not as stiff, but it still has like that retention, or that spring load that's gonna allow it to, you know, be smooth like if it were stock. So it's riding really good. I'm really happy with the overall result of how this went. I'm actually happy that I had to go ahead and replace this because the clunking was annoying and the ride quality was horrible. I didn't like how the car was driving after I put the coilovers on. Now fixing this, it's now more drivable. It's more lovable in my opinion. Not feeling this way. So at first I had thought it was like a motor mount or something that was bad, and that's why the car was like shaking a little bit. But now my shaking has completely gone away. Plus on top of that, my clunking. And when I would brake, I would also hear like a weird sound coming from the right side. And now it all makes sense why that was happening. So this car is doing good. Really happy. Hopefully this helps you guys out if you have this issue as well. Those top hats are honestly cheap. I'll recommend going with like stock ones. But in my situation, you may run into an issue like I did, where I was trying to put the coilover on and it wasn't working out like I planned. The reason why I didn't want to install the TN ones was because it looked like I wasn't going to be able to adjust it. It looked like you can only adjust the preload, but not the actual height adjustment on the coilover, unless I'm doing it wrong. But to me, it doesn't look like adjusting the spring or making it tighter would make the car lower, if that makes sense. But you guys tell me down in the comments below if you guys know more about it than I do. Maybe it actually does make a difference, but I most likely just sell those coilovers that I had. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right there. Hope you guys like the steering wheel. I honestly love the steering wheel. I'm so happy I upgraded to this one right here, because the previous one was like junk and I hated looking at it. And now I just love having the steering wheel, being able to remove it, put it back on. And I most likely will be doing this to my future cars, or my 370Z for example, because right now I have the stock one and this looks so sick and it feels so like dope as well, just to have a aftermarket steering wheel that you can remove. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.